Hey guys, this is Growth Beast, co-founder of Growth Stories, the first on-chain marketing newsletter in the space, and welcome to another edition of our marketing minicast. Today we've got Joanna Cook, co-founder and CEO of Soon, the most efficient rollup stack, delivering top performance in any L1. And they've recently launched their DevNet and the Solana Ton Bridge, so make sure to try them out. I've dropped the link in the description below.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, definitely excited to be part of this.
Soon is a relatively new but really hot project right now. It's seen a lot of growth. Can you tell me more about it, and what are you aiming to accomplish with Soon?
With Soon, which stands for Solana Optimist Network, so we use the essentially the Solana executing environment, and then use that as the gold standard that we bring into other ecosystem. That's where the L1 component comes in, right? So we're starting with Ethereum as the first settlement layer, and we're slowly growing into other ecosystems like Bitcoin and maybe Ton in the future. So the idea is we have seen how much user adoption was driven by Solana's high performance and also the builder culture, right? So we thought about what's the best way to onboard more people into Web3, and that's always been the holy grail for every project, infra project, anyways. And we wanted to solve this fragmentation liquidity issue that's currently plaguing the EVM side, right? So I come from a lot of the kind of OP labs and other EVM stacks in the past, so I've seen that playbook, the whole having undifferentiated tech stack can potentially bring a lot of grand farmers into the ecosystem, and really wanted to create this differentiated tech stack that will actually inspire some innovations, right, on the chain. So yeah, so that's what we were all about. We wanted to have embedded native interoperability within the Soon universe, because we're also building a tech stack that allows people to spin up their own app chains using SVM rollup stack. But also, as mentioned, that first layer, the POC chain, will be a general purpose chain that uses Solana's virtual machine on top of Ethereum. So everything will be super interoperable, starting with the InterSoon concept. And I can tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean that's really exciting. I think those have been two very siloed ecosystems, which I'm gonna ask more about, on the community level. But I think you've just launched for around 6 months or so, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think has been your biggest driver for growth?
We started out as more of a product-led growth strategy, right? So just simply be the fastest shipping team out there, right? Really just being like heads down building our products, especially you just mentioned we launched our DevNet within 3 months and testnet in two. We're going to launch our mainnet by the end of the year. So that's the kind of speed that you don't see from many teams, right? So we have a really, really strong engineering effort here. And I think that led into a lot of these inbounds, right? Teams that have been building maybe perhaps in a different ecosystem that also boast these high performance metrics and couldn't ship their, even testnet after 2 years, right? So, they will come to us and ask how can they get some support. So that's the initial strategy. But I think what's really been the main driver most recently is really this ability to build this pipe, right, between some of the most user adopted, highly popular L1s, right, like Solana and Ton. And we launched that first bridge between the two ecosystems. It's asset bridge with liquidity pools on both sides. So imagine, the users can flow from one chain to another, where, naturally, I think there's a lot more users that are not even Web3 users, like 6 million users on Tom. And then, that goes into like the Solana side. And then there's a lot more developers on the Solana side now, or assets from the Solana side that's now moving over to Tom, because previously it's pretty difficult to build DeFi apps on top of Tom. We probably can talk about this in a different episode just on the technical difficulties there. But the point is, you can now bring your favorite meme coins that you launched on the mini app, mini game in town, to a DEX like Jupiter and Orca or Drift on Solana, right? So it's really a win-win for both ecosystems. So that's only the first demonstration of this, what we call the super adoption stack concept, right? So using this bridge and this interoperability as a way to acquire users. And it's also a great way to get the developers out of this TVL game, right? Which we've seen all the EVM chains have played to the extreme, and frankly, just a race to the bottom. So yeah, so that's been something that's been driving a lot of user traffic, and hence we've seen more developer interest.
And I think a lot of normies would also be very interested in the idea that they can kind of get their meme coin and trade on Jupiter. I think that's probably the key. As a founder, there's always this interesting kind of dilemma, right? You're both BD, product manager, marketer, fundraiser, all in one. I
Yep.
think for people think starting a company, since it's still kind of fresh to you, let's say,
Yeah.
what are the growth stages that you see fresh startups go through?
The first stage starting with still in stealth, right? So very much still in the fundraising mode. So that's my first stage, and I did a quite an unconventional way of raising. I only went to angels, and we call co-builders, because they're frankly, yeah, there are co-builders, right, in many senses. Like they're actually integrating their products with us or co-building narratives with us. A lot of folks from the Solana ecosystem, Ethereum ecosystems. And then I think the second stage is, by the way, I talked to like 50 people. I think this is like something of a record at within the month, after like a major conference. And and then we got like 44 yeses out of the 50. So so a lot of research went
Wow.
into that initial stage of a discovery, right? Like, who are the right people that we should reach out to? Obviously you want to reach out to only folks that you think you can get a yes from. But anyway, so that's really the first stage, right? That fundraising mode. And then once you come out of stealth, right, with your backers, I think it's all about like, what is the next sort of a product launch, right? What's the next big milestone on the product side? And then just really put together all your resources around that marketing moment. And basically the next stage will be, kind of like looking at the actual ecosystem organic growth, like where is that unique, maybe the use case, or like in our case, I think it's this bridge that's bringing differentiation, right, into the play. And that's how you need to have that one single explosive moment, for this type of user growth, right? One single moment that can bring that momentum to the project.
Right. So kind of implementing the kind of like the YC product launch week strategy in a way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We talked in the recent AI panel with Nimble about AI agents. And, I was wondering, do you see soon building an AI agent, let's say that would
Mhm.
access your wallet and help you bridge across, Solana, Ton, and EVM
Yeah.
chain?
Yeah, I am really a huge fan of this concept. I really want to write a tweet about it and just asking like who's actually doing this. I haven't found a single project working on this exact concept, but it solves a lot of problem, right? Like, even on the Solana mainnet, right? It's pretty hard to like, look up 30 different wallets across different chains, across different dexes, to like 30 different assets, to calculate those balances. So how do we actually go back to this, the siloedness, right, of this ecosystem? Like, why we have so much fragmentation of issue is because we have all these ecosystems that are just not interoperable. It's not basically natively composable, right? So we want to incorporate AI as a um, technical breakthrough to help with that process. But I think more importantly, once we have the cross chain messaging layer fully built out, that will help from a technical perspective to build out the pipes between all the different ecosystem.
And kind of related to growth and AI, do you see on-chain agents kind of as the next marketing play for Web3 protocols?
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit overheated, overhyped now. I think it's weird that people talk so much about like, oh, privacy, privacy. I don't ever give out my key to anybody, and then just easily give it out to an agent, right? To look into your wallet address and basically connected the wallet to the right dexes to do the trade for you. Yeah, it's always interesting to think about that trade-off, right? Convenience versus privacy. Maybe there's a more to just the DeFi use case using AI agent. I'm thinking more from like a DeepIn perspective. There's a lot of data that's being collected by, like health devices, right? Like these wearables and even like traffic data. I've seen a lot of different DeepIn applications that are looking into that. And I feel like there's an angle where we can actually utilize AI agent to help with those analyzation, right? So yeah, I just feel like it's a little bit overplayed now with the trading aspect.
I see agents as kind of like the websites of back in the day, and then I still, to me as a marketer, still seems that you need to market that agent well to do it well, and then we might just see them deployed as a marketing ploy, as kind of NFT collections used to be deployed back in 2021 when I entered the space. It was the cool thing to do, as a protocol to grow your community, not just through the airdrop promise, but, through the promise of an NFT collection growing in value as well. We talked about a little bit about growth metrics, and I think, you're one of the first people who, one of the few people who said, no TVL. I wanted to get your opinion on what matters for soon and maybe what should matter in the extended Web3 ecosystem in terms of healthy metrics.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know that you're expert on this, so I'm still looking forward to reading your research report on this. But yeah, I think maybe less about, just the AI specific metrics. I'm just looking from a chain perspective. We are looking at these number of transactions, number of users. It's pretty usual suspect, but I think it means a lot in our case because we are a chain that's burning like ETH as gas token, right? Not just our own token, right? So the actual transaction number means that there are users, real users behind it, and the other part I think is pretty clear, like using the bridge as a gauge for that, right? The bridge fee itself is a pretty good, or the number of transactions happening on the bridge is a pretty good example of how quickly or how actively people are bridging these assets in and out.
And any alpha you could share ahead of DevCon, or what your favorite Thai food is?
Oh, that's a good one. We do have our event at DevCon where you can come over and try the spiciest chili, and
Oh, man.
you can earn a valuable prize if you can survive all five of them. I would not be one of those people, but because I don't do spicy food. But yeah, I guess the little alpha is we are going to announce this very soon. So I guess less of an alpha now, but we are launching our testnet. Yeah, basically the first decouple SVM rollup. At DevCon. So so you will see a lot of a lot of hype around that, and we are also looking to design some campaigns around it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely be part of the spicy contest. I've been training myself here for a bit, so let's see.
Kudos to
Let's.
you.
Well, Joanna, I mean, this is pretty much it. Keep it short and simple. And
Thank
thanks
you.
again for joining. I do want to have another session, maybe in 6 months, where
I would love
there's
that
going
too.
to be mad bull run at that time. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And I want to see the comparison difference, in
Love it.
how soon it's doing. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're still around, hit subscribe and mint this podcast. It's collectible. It's going to be on chain very soon. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
see you all soon.